All right, y'all, let's move on to our first guest. You know her from the blockbuster Jurassic World movies, as well as many others that I love, like The Village. She's the daughter of director Ron Howard, and like her famous father, she recently moved behind the camera for a documentary on dads. Let's welcome Bryce Dallas Howard, everybody.
Hi!
Hello, I love you, and I'm very excited that you're here. So where are you right now? It looks very relaxing. You look
I'm in New York.
Oh.
And I'm in upstate New York.
Yeah.
And there's a backdrop, and then behind this is just like garage.
Okay, I was like, that's awesome. All of us have ours. This is like my living room, and they just put a set in it. So yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like even
Really?
more fake for TV. It's awesome. Well, before I forget, congratulations. This is really awesome. You're officially a college graduate. That's amazing that you went back. Nobody does that.
You know what I did? I kind of never really left school, and my teachers, like when I was taking a leave of absence to start working and to like do The Village and stuff like that, I kept saying to my teachers, I'm like, I'm gonna come back. And right away I started taking classes at an accredited university in order to transfer to eventually graduate. I didn't think it was going to take me 21 years.
Yeah, well, you've been a little busy making huge, successful movies. So yeah, not that they need to be huge and successful, but they are. So that's okay. I just think it's awesome. My mom's a teacher. So when I told her I wasn't going to college and I was going to be a waitress living on a mattress to be a singer, it wasn't the best thing she'd ever heard. She wasn't very excited about the notion, so it worked out, luckily.
Yeah.
But how did you celebrate? Because so many things, like I had my birthday in quarantine. Everybody's had like moments, anniversaries, stuff like that happening in quarantine. How did you celebrate graduating?
You know what? It was really kind of amazing. Like my parents got one of those things, one of those signs that you can like put in the grass in front of your house that's like congratulations graduate Bryce or whatever, like
oh my gosh, that's
they're like
so
parents
Southern.
that have a graduate. And I had my husband sent off this thing called like Tribute, where you can just like record tributes for people. And so he sent it to like all of my friends and family and folks that I've known forever and ever and ever, and they all recorded videos just, being lovely and congratulating me and some.
That's really sweet.
I had my daughter, Katie, and she was about, 10 months old, something like that. And I just kind of holding her over my head, and I was smiling. I had my mouth wide open, and she had her mouth wide open. And then she vomited in a forceful column. I guess they call it projectile vomiting, directly into, like it hit my uvula. It just went right into my throat. And of course, your reaction is to throw this person, as far away from you as possible, but I didn't. I held on to her, and I just spit as much of it as I could out, and then that's when I realized I was a dad.
All right, y'all, I'm back with Bryce Dallas Howard. That was a look at her new documentary, Dads, which is out on Apple TV Plus tomorrow, so y'all got to check it out. But Bryce, your new movie is a different take on being a dad. Can you tell me a little about it and who's in it?
Yeah. So this is a documentary called Dads, and it's a celebration of modern fathering around the globe. So I got to interview all different kinds of dads, comedian dads. I have this perspective that stand-up comedians are our modern day philosophers. And I wanted to profile, I call them hero dads from around the world. And that was sort of like the combination between the two. And then during the course of making the movie, I kept saying, we need to profile a dad who's an expecting father, someone who hasn't had a kid yet and then becomes a father during the course of the movie. And I kept not finding it. I was about halfway through shooting and then found out that my brother and his wife were going to have their first child. And so I was like,
cool.
Okay, I got my expecting dad. So there is an aspect of the movie that is kind of the Howard story.
So you didn't plan that, to have your family be as big of a part as they ended up playing?
No, I kind of, like early on, I sort of mentioned the possibility to my dad, it'd be great if, because my grandfather had recently passed away and I had filmed an interview with him several years prior. And I was like, well, maybe I can go back and watch some of that interview and see if there's anything of value to put in here.
Cool.
But my dad was like, no.
Oh.
Honestly, he was so nervous about it, and he just, and I think his concerns were fair.
Yeah.
He's like, we've lived for over 60 years as a private public family. Why would we want
That's really
to?
incredibly hard.
Yeah, and we've been lucky in that regard. Why peek behind the curtain now? But with my brother being the expecting father, it just, like I said, it just made sense. And so my dad, when he finally saw the film, he was like, okay, I understand.
Well, what made him a great dad? Because this is an awesome thing, because not all of us, I'm one of them. I didn't grow up with a great dad. But I love hearing about how people did. And I have my, one of my best friends is also my assistant, and she had a great dad, and my nanny has a great dad. And I love hearing that, because it's also, something for people that didn't have fathers to kind of know how to set the bar for what they should be expecting for a father for their children, or as a husband, or so. But how was your dad? What made him a great dad? Because he had to have been really busy, right?
You know what? He was very present, and he figured out, my parents together figured out, given their life situation, how to be present. And it looks different for every single family, like everyone has a lot of plates that they're spinning, and it's different for every individual. And so what that looked like in terms of my childhood was, we were just traveling. My mom would like figure it out so that all 4 kids, we could go wherever my dad was going, and we would enroll in local schools or get homeschooled. And
wow, it's almost like touring musicians. It's almost like how, because
Totally.
a lot of musicians bring their kids on the road and families
Yes.
on the road.
Yes, that's exactly it. And it was awesome because I loved it. And my parents figured out pretty early that they could really control me by threatening that I wouldn't be allowed to go to set if I didn't behave.
I'm not above bribery or threatening myself.
Yes.
No, I think that's cool.
That happened. Yeah.
Well, I have a little surprise for you.
Oh, do you?
A Father's Day surprise for you.
A Father's Day?
Yes, a video was sent to us just for you. Here we go. We're going to play it.
Hey, Kelly. Well, let's see. An embarrassing story about Bryce. She was a great kid, and she loved visiting the set, and she was very, very helpful. In fact, by the time she was 11 or 12, she was actually pitching in as like a production assistant. In fact, she was so efficient that she was finally given the responsibility of having a walkie-talkie, so that the production assistants could talk to one another and give direction and guidance. And I mean, that was a real honor and a show of appreciation for how mature she was. It was great. The first day she was terrific. She was on it. The second day was good too, except suddenly over the walkie-talkie, we heard Bryce ordering the extras holding area to be moved from one side of a building over to the other. Now, granted, she was trying to get it out of the sun and into the shade, and her thinking was pretty good, but it's not quite cool to have the 12-year-old taking over the production. So she lost her walkie-talkie that day, but I knew that one day she'd want to be behind the scenes calling the shots, and she does it really well.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I like to take personal responsibility.
I like no, and you know what? I know, but there's something to that. Even that moment as a 12-year-old, like I think there are moments for everyone that's truly successful. There are those moments, whatever that walkie-talkie moment is for people. But you're truly successful because at the very beginning, even if it was one person, they told you that you were amazing and you could do anything you wanted and you believed them. And I think that those are the moments that you're so bold and you're like, well, I got this. I can do this. Who cares that I'm 12? Like, I think that that's, kind of what makes you you and what makes you special and kind of a light in what you do. But thank you so much, Bryce. Thanks for calling in. Congratulations again on graduating. That's super cool. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Please don't make me keep going.